I'm Greg Herman. I'm an associate professor in the School of Chemical, Biological, and Environmental Engineering at Oregon State University. I'm also associate director of the OPIC lab, which is the Oregon Process Innovation Center for Sustainable Solar Cell Manufacturing, which is an Oregon-best signature research facility. The Oregon Process Innovation Center for Sustainable Solar Cell Manufacturing is a signature research facility where we're able to work in the scale-up of nanomaterials synthesis, thin film synthesis for solar cell manufacturing. Essentially, the idea is we're taking research that's been developed at Oregon State University and other locations and able to transfer that onto a larger scale. So instead of making solar cells that are about that large, we're first scaling up to solar cells that are about this large, and then we're going to the point where we're scaling up to solar cells that are about 12 inches wide and can be a large variety of lengths from 10 feet to hundreds of feet. So the main purpose of the lab is to develop processes that were developed at OSU and scale them up to show that they're sustainable manufacturing processes that industry will be interested in and be able to make solar cells in the future with. It's primarily a nanomaterials approach, but we're also working at scales even smaller than nanotechnology. We're working at the molecular scale as well. So we're able to provide deposit films onto substrates where we're actually using microreactors to create reactive intermediates, and these reactive intermediates then form thin films for solar cells. The OPIC lab, we've moved in just in August 2010. We have a variety of equipment that we've brought into the lab for characterization of the materials and characterization of the processes. These include Fourier transformed IR spectroscopy. We have a mass spectrometer so that we can actually measure the processes as we're running solutions through the microreactors. We have atomic force microscopy so that we can actually start looking at the nanoscale materials that we're developing. Behind me we have a continuous flow microreactor for the synthesis of these nanomaterials. And in the bay that's just right outside the lab, we have a solar cell testing capability so that we can actually be able to characterize our cells, measure the efficiencies. The instrumentation capabilities that are coming include a roll-to-roll coder. So if you consider newspaper printing or magazine printing, these are high volume processes. And we're bringing in a tool capability so that we can actually print solar cells using similar technology so that we can actually make these cells extremely quickly and extremely cheaply. I think one of the strengths of the lab is that we're actually at a point where we're working with companies that are essentially startups, which are single individuals. We have a few of these are working directly with the researchers in the lab, but we're also working with international companies the research labs that are in the Northwest. So we have capabilities that don't only just appeal to people in Oregon, but we also have research that appeals to people, research centers and companies that are in Japan, Germany, Taiwan, and others. So I think we're making a lot of inroads in terms of how we're going to move the technology from this lab into manufacturing and benefit the state of Oregon.
As a lab manager here for the OPIC lab, I'm in charge of keeping track of the students that are working here and making sure that they have the resources that they need. I also interface with the MBI here, which is the space that we're using for the lab. We have a lot of different type of people that use the lab. We have industry people that are well established and maybe trying to get into a new niche in the industry, but we also have people that are very, very small businesses, maybe just doing research practically in their garages or in their living rooms, but they have this lab as an opportunity to grow.
OSU's School of Chemical, Biological, and Environmental Engineering is home to a number of research projects in conjunction with the OPIC lab, including thin film solar cell and anti-reflective coating development.
And this one is the anti-reflective coating on glass substrate. So when we write, the instant light reached on surface, the transparent surface, there is the 8% of the reflection, and then finally 92% absorption pass through the substrate. So if we eliminate the reflection about 8%, and the 100% of light source can pass through the whole substrate, and then using the 100% of light source to generate the solar energy. So it will be perfect. So if we use the ARC coating, so we can eliminate the light reflection on the surface. So here, so we deposit the silicon nanoparticle, so synthesized by the solution-based deposition in our lab. So, and then deposit on the large area substrate. It's a very simple method. This one is the eyeglass. Eyeglass also has the anti-reflective coating. So if we also deposit the ARC coating on the eyeglass, we can also reduce the reflections. Also, we can get a clear image on the eyeglass.
This is first is a thin film solar cell. The absorber we call it CIGS, copper, indium, gallium diselenide. So it's a unique thin film solar cell materials, and right now, I think the efficiency, the energy conversion efficiency is the highest for thin film solar cell. And but the problem is coming out. We're using the conventional method is vacuum technology. The cost is high and the output is low. So in our lab, we try to using solution-based deposition method to deposit the absorber layer. We call it CIG6. And using our method, we can printing our absorber layer on the substrate. It's a molybdenum substrate. Then we do some post-processing and deposit other layers on top. Then we got a similar device as a vacuum technology. So far, we already make the cell in the substrate itself. The efficiency, conversion efficiency is very promising and comparable with other technology.
Coming up next time on Green Science Oregon.
This device you see right here has a sealed chamber that's attached to a hydraulic press. And this allows us to place the wood inside the chamber and close it up and then subject it to pressurized steam prior to applying a compression force to increase the density. And we literally crush the wood, but we crush it without causing fractures in the cell wall structure. At the end of the process, the wood has been cooled down below 100 degrees C, and the density has been increased. Typically, the density increase will be about 3 to perhaps 4 times denser than the initial density of the wood when we put it in there.
What I've got for you is a steam distillation system. And what I'm hoping to do is extract some essential oils out of western juniper, which I've collected from Sisters, Oregon. And what I've done is with those branches, I've taken the foliage off and put it inside of this still. What I'll do is heat that still up, boil some water, and that water vapor will travel through the foliage, and with that heat we'll extract some essential oils. It'll run through the top of the still, follow through a condenser, condense down, and what will come out is a oil-water mix. And what I have then is something that I can remove the water from and have potentially a wood preservative.